No, guys, the producers are producing. Well, Ma, let's get into this review. Hey guys, and welcome back to the chat, guys. No, guys, the producers are producing. Well, Ma, let's get into this review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another Love Island review. Final review of the week. Guys, the producers are producing. My mouth is still on the floor. I need to pick it up and do this review. So, as I usually and always say, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and definitely join the family. We are on the road to 30k. Also, be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also on my Twitter at SarahDestinyX. And number three, like I usually and always say, please get cozy and comfy with a nice drink. Today we've got a cheeky little orange juice. But guys, the producers are producing and we need to get into this review. So let's start off briefly with Whitney and Maddie. Of course, I already told you guys in yesterday's review, they're going to have a conversation about Whitney's speech. I'm surprised that Maddie didn't actually bring up the whole rogue comment. But of course, they were having a conversation and he was like, I think your speech was really good. Did you mean it? She was like, duh, of course I meant it. Blah, blah. Guys, I'm just trying to quickly rush because I'm actually in the clouds. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. Anything else mainly from that? He did say that she is his main focus because of course Whitney ended up questioning him about the whole Leah situ. Once again, I genuinely just don't feel like that Leah thing was genuine. I feel like the producers orchestrated that chat because we literally don't even see Maddie and Leah breathe next to each other. Talk us of him saying, I want to get to know you, I think you're very well spoken. Nah. But of course you guys know that they ended up sharing a kiss, and guys, Whitney is gone. That kiss, it wasn't even just a kiss. A lot of kissing was going on in tonight's episode, but guys, they were going in. I said, you know what guys, I think Whitney actually likes this guy, and because you know we stan Whitney on this channel, okay, it's given it babe, because we stan her, unfortunately by default Maddie falls into that stan. So as long as Maddie is with Whitney, he will be staying in that villa because we need Whitney to make it. I won't lie, I absolutely love her. And yeah, now let's move on to Catherine and Scott. Not much to discuss other than the fact that I do really like them together. I will get into Scott briefly because I know people are expecting me to tear his singlet. I'm not going to, and I'm going to tell you why. But yeah, they were having a nice little combo as well about their speech, and Catherine looks happy. You guys know I stand Catherine as well, so she's happy right now. Scott, by default, I'm also happy with you. Now let's move on to Jess and Mitch talking. It's giving Mr. and Mrs. Grinch of the villa. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I can't take both of them seriously as individuals, talk less of them being together. But of course, Jess ended up seeing Sammy and Mal walking, and she was just like, you know what, it's whatever. I'm going to be past it. I'm just going to focus on another Islander, aka Mitch. And then they started smirking with one another. I just don't really take them seriously for some reason, and I feel like it's going to take a while for Jess to get over Sammy. What is there to even get over? Who knows? But I do feel like it is going to take a while for her to get over Sammy. Now let's move on to Sammy and Mal. Not much to discuss there other than the fact that Mal was cute. I like Mal. I think she's very mysterious. That's the word to describe her. She's very mysterious, and I think, yeah, I don't know, there's something about her. Her mysterious isn't Leah's mysterious, okay? But I actually do like Mal. I think she seems very soft, very mysterious. Do I see her and Sammy lasting? No, because I don't really feel like they have much chat. But is that because of Sammy? Because how many couples has Sammy been in? And I felt the same way, so that's just that. Now let's move on briefly to Molly and Zach. They were talking about their date, and she was saying, if I can replay this day for the rest of my life, I would. With that meow that you done, okay. Okay, but I'll be very honest with you guys, and there's no, you know what's so funny? Peace, if you're watching this, shout out to my cousin Peace. Peace literally tweeted, I am their biggest hater. And yeah, it's honestly true. Zach and Molly, for me, it was a ship I was never buying a ticket for. I was never preparing for. I was never boarding on. It just wasn't given a damn thing. I honestly just kind of feel like they just have very surface level chats. I don't really feel like they really know each other. I don't personally feel like they have much in common. I think they are attracted to each other physically, but other than that, I don't see it. And yeah, you need to also remember, this is the same girl in yesterday's episode that said that, oh, I just feel like we're getting stronger, after he confessed to cheating and not regretting it. It's not really given. But yeah, I will never board that ship, and I'm proud to say that. Now let's move on to Leah and Montel talking on the terrace. They ended up kissing. Not even just kissing, definitely lipsing, because you know there's a difference. Not that I know. But yeah, they ended up kissing. Do I have much to say about that? Not really. Montel gives me good chat, no game. I think that's the perfect way to describe Montel for me. He seems like a really cute guy, but I don't get much from him for some reason. And you guys already know how I have felt about Leah these past couple of episodes. Maybe her being with Montel will bring out her personality a bit more, but I'm not really, I don't think I care for them as a couple, if that makes sense. If you do, let me know down below. But for me personally, I don't think I care for them. One thing we've been telling the Love Island producers for the longest of times is to mute the mics when they're kissing, but they refuse to do so. So we heard all the smooches all up in there. Now we'll move on to bedtime. Whitney and Maddie in bed kissing. Leah and Montel in bed kissing. Catherine and Scott, guys, snuggled up. I love that they can sleep on top of each other and actually sleep. You know, some people, they can't do that. So yeah, that was really cute. You guys know, like I said, for now, I'm currently standing them, so it is what it is. And Zach and Molly were also kissing in bed as well. Now let's move on to the following morning. The chats were okay. I wish Ella, Catherine and Whitney had their morning chats, but you know the producers do their little split. But we'll just briefly speak about a few things. Catherine said that, of course, they snuggled and that she kissed him and, you know, things are going really well with them, which was good. Leah said that her and Montel cuddled as well and had a kiss. Whitney also spoke about the kiss. Guys, I love Whitney so much. I can't explain it. She was like, give me bezo, mwah, extendo, bruh, I carry like I'm prego, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that song? Sorry guys, I really love Ada Brooke, but yeah, she did say give me bezo, so I stand Whitney, guys, man. I feel like she's my friend in my head, honestly. And then the boys were talking, of course, but I'll just touch on Sammy. Said that it's not nice watching Jess move on, but he does like Mal. I still don't know who Sammy is trying to deceive. What episode are we? 16, 17? One of the two. I don't know who he's trying to deceive. He has let us know numerous times that he was not physically attracted to Jess and he was finding a way to get out. So I think he's trying to make the, you know, the recoupling when they said they're not allowed to recouple together again. I think he's trying to make that his point, but we're not silly. Okay. Now, of course, the girls ended up getting a text that it was time for them to go on a spa date. One thing I do have to say, though, is that Whitney, you actually low-key forget that she is a bombshell. She is giving OG vibes. I mean, she has everyone saying it's given and more. I absolutely love them. And even the text said it's given too. Now, of course, back at the villa, we'll briefly speak about the guys before we were introduced to Kady again. So Tyrique said that he was happy that he got to chill with the mandem at first, but he actually just wants his babes back. And you know, when Tyrique was speaking, I said, wow, that book that Zach shared with the villa, it's really helping. Okay. It's really helping because it seems that Tyrique gathered sense, but then he lost at the end of the episode. And then Sammy and Zach were speaking about how much they are witnessing his growth as well. And Ty was just like, yeah guys, I feel like I've changed. Like she, you know, she's just a good woman. I was thinking, wow, Tyrique is really changing. Until he didn't. Now let's move on to Kady, all right? So Kady was actually an islander on season 2. If you know, you know. I know some of you, maybe season 10 is your first season, but the real OGs know about Kady Mcdermott. She's 27 now, but I think when she was on Love Island, she was... By the way, season 2 probably was one of the... Guys, oh, if you haven't watched... Season 2 probably was one of the craziest seasons that we've ever had. Those islanders did not hold back, and I'm not going to mention what they've done, but if you know, you definitely know. But yeah, she's 27, she's from Hertfordshire. I did tweet this at the same time. I do like her, I think she's a babe, but I feel like her aura and their energy was given, like, really grown. So of course she came and she ended up speaking to the guys, and we'll briefly go into a few of them, because if I don't tear Montel's singlet, you have to call me a liar. Because I'm not even sure he's unpacked and he has mouth. Very interesting. Now we'll start off with Scott. Scott is actually the only person who remembered her. He was just like, oh my god, is that Kady Mcdermott? Mitchell was speechless, and even in his confessionals he was like, I need to get to know her before the other guys. When isn't Mitchell trying to get to know somebody before the rest of them? But of course they ended up having a chat, and I do like the fact that Kady was leading the convo. Like, you can tell she's an OG in this. You know, she was leading the convo, she was directing the chats. You know, she, if anything, she kind of not necessarily intimidated them, but she just had that authority, and I did really like that. Of course, Tyrique said that he isn't closed off, that the door is open just a little bit. I just said, oh God, Tyrique, don't fool my hand. If you don't know what that means, like, don't fool my hand means like, don't disappoint me, yeah? Don't fool my hand. Tyrique was fooling my hand. I just said, oh gosh. You see why you can't compliment people too much, because they just turn around and do something like this. But yeah, Tyrique was like, you know, I'm not closed off, but the door's a little bit open. I said, bam. Okay, hold your lip, all right? Hold that your lip. Of course, Montel, Kady was going around asking, you know, who you with, Montel, when she got to, I believe she got to Scott, and then Montel was like, Catherine who? No babe, Montel who? Because I'm sure you haven't even unpacked. If I actually slap Montel, I know that's not you talking. Okay? I know it's not you talking, but that's what I'm going to say. Sammy described her as tasty. I really hate when guys do that. Girls aren't food. I just feel like there are so many ways you can describe a woman. Why are you describing her as tasty? It doesn't even make it doesn't make any sense. But Sammy described her as tasty. Zach was like, he's feeling Molly. because that's his type. But brown, no, he's feeling Molly, but his type is Kady, so brown hair and blue eyes. And it further posed the question, and we're talking about this on Twitter as well, which is why I always say, guys, you need to follow me on Twitter if you ain't, because yeah. But we're talking about this on Twitter as well, like, brown hair and blue eyes is your type. Okay, number one, why did you couple up with Catherine when you first entered the villa? Number two, why were the black and minority ethnic girls your top three if your type is blue eyes and brown hair? Zach, answer us immediately, because the math is not mathing, okay? Scott did say that she's got beautiful eyes, and if she uses her eyes like Leah does, then it's going to be hard for the guys. And I was just thinking, like, maybe it's because, like I said, I haven't really seen this whole eye contact thing that everyone's been raving on about when it comes to Leah. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, anyway, I haven't really been raving on about this eye thing, but yeah, I don't understand that one as well. But he did say it is going to be all over for the guys. So I think for a fact, Kady, like I said, I think she's a beautiful girl. And carries presence, so I'm not surprised why all the guys seem to be feeling her. Now let's move on briefly to Zach and Kady having a conversation. She said that she feels like him and Molly are complete opposites. And then Zach was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I like Molly, like, I like the fact she doesn't go clubbing. I just said, what? What are you saying? I asked you about someone you like, and your first point to mention is you like the fact they don't go clubbing. Guys, I wasn't born yesterday. I told you I can't board this ship because this ship is never going anywhere. And we know why anyway. But this ship is never going anywhere. Zach, you need to be so serious right now. He needs to be so serious. So of course, the girls are back at the spa, wanted to take a selfie to send to the guys, but lo and behold, producers producing. The second they were about to click send, they actually ended up getting the selfie of the guys with Kady. The girls were stressed. I think Catherine even sat down. Ella was like, what? No, no. So yeah, the girls were 100% stressed, and they also recognised that it was Kady from season 2 as well. So they do know that this girl is a veteran and an OG in this game. Now we'll briefly move on back to the villa before the girls do get back. So Kady was talking to Tyrique and Scott about their couples. Tyrique said that he thinks that Ella knows that, you know, we're really good and stuff like that, but she also knows as well that I'm not 100% closed off. And she did say, okay, so if I wanted to get to know you, would you be okay then? He was just like, yeah, like, it's calm, like, type of situ. He also described how Ella would take it, and he, you know, Tyrique is such a flirt, my goodness. Tyrique was just like, it's even with that, like, I don't like this, you know, like this combo that we have, like, next time let's do like a 1-to-1, because obviously Scott was there. So Tyrique, I honestly feel like Tyrique will Tyrique the way Tyrique has Tyrique. Okay, that's just all, because Tyrique has shown us who we are. It's up to us to look for a different colour, okay? Scott, of course, was talking about Catherine. One thing I did like was he described Catherine in a way that I don't think any other guy that Catherine has been with has described her just yet, unless I'm confusing her with something's my eye. But unless I'm confusing him with other people, yeah, I don't think so. He was just like, you know, she's a beautiful girl, she's bubbly, she's got a great this, she's got a great that, definitely the type of girl that I'm interested in and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that he covered his back a bit, but he did also say that it is early days, and I have to accept that as well. I mean, him and Catherine have only been together, has it been 2 days? It's been definitely been from this week, right? Yeah, because Scott is ready to be fresh as well. So yeah, it's early days. Now, of course, the girls ended up coming back to the villa. I was screaming because while I was still walking in, Catherine was like, girls, hurry up. Okay, because you know the girls are stressed. So they ended up talking to her, of course, and she was saying that, you know, she's dated her fair share of loud guys. She's really into mysterious guys, and she mentioned guys that were good looking. So she said Zach was good looking, Ty was good looking, Mitch as well, and she said, in all honesty, she doesn't care. She is here to step on people's toes. I love how that's such a Love Island phrase, like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Oh gosh, this show has me in a chokehold, and you, clearly, because you watch these reviews. Now, of course, she also said that no, Whitney asked her, you know, what did the guys say when you spoke to them? Did any of them say that they were really open? Yes, Whitney, the Oprah moment. Let's get to the nitty gritty. And she did mention Mitch, Scott, and Ty was really flirty, and the fact that Ty said that he isn't fully closed off. Of course, the camera ended up panning to Ella, but we'll get into that briefly as well, because I have a few thoughts there, and I'd like to hear what you guys actually think of that conversation as well. Now let's move on to Zach and Molly talking. Not much to discuss other than the fact that Molly said she feels like Zach is on Kady's roster. But in all honesty, like I said, I feel like Zach and Molly for me are very surface level, so I don't really see them getting deep. And of course, Scott and Catherine were talking, and he did explain that I did already tell her, you know, that you're really friendly and that I do really like you, and I love these qualities and traits about you. And Catherine said, to be honest, if you want to get to know her, you can crack on, because I like the direction that things are going in. yeah, I feel like, do you know what's so interesting? People on Twitter were just like, oh, Catherine doesn't do enough. Like, Catherine doesn't do enough. But I feel like I've just kind of deep that she just has a very laid back and chilled personality. Maybe some could argue a bit too laid back, but at the same time, I'm not even trying to be funny. No guys seeing me sweat off my lace front. I don't care who you are. As long as Catherine stays in that villa, Sha, okay? As long as she stays. Now let's move on to Ella and Ty talking. She said that she was surprised that he wanted to get to know her. Guys, I'm not surprised. Like I said, Tyrique will Tyrique the way that Tyriques have Tyriques, okay? What was very interesting, of course, you know that the discussion started to get a bit heated and Ella wasn't happy at all. And of course, Tyrique was just like, what's up? And she just said whatever. And he was just like, nah, don't say whatever. We're not going to start the evening or whatever. Ella, of course, screwing up her face. Because, you know, she heard that the guy that she likes wants to try and get to know somebody else. Guys, let me know. Are you team Ella or are you team Tyrique in the situation? On one hand, I just feel like Ella's just too cute for all of this. And I feel like Tyrique is just the type of guy that he just loves female attention, okay? Clearly, he loves female attention, he loves flirting, he loves getting to know the girls, and until he decides to fully be serious, I feel like he's going to continue to drag Ella through the cycle, through every, like, are you trying to tell me whenever a new bombshell or a new girl enters the villa, this is what you're going to be doing? Like, it's draining. Toxic love is draining, guys, okay? I've been there, sadly. But toxic love is actually draining. But on the other hand as well, like I said, Tyrique has kind of told us who he was, sorry. And that's what I mean, like that book that he read, maybe he skipped a couple chapters, because as much as I thought I was seeing growth, Tyrique reminded me that he's going to Tyrique the way that Tyriques have Tyrique. So yeah, please do let me know what you think. I think Ella is a really good girl. Like, even she said in her confessionals that, oh, he doesn't know when he has a good woman. I don't want her to think that she can change him, because I think the only person that can change himself is Tyrique once he decides to. And yeah, she shouldn't let him give him a headache. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, let's move on to the nighttime. I'm gonna take a sip. I'm actually quite thirsty. Refreshing. Oh, guys, you know I hate taking sips when I do recording, because now I've got a little Anyway, let's move on to the nighttime. I did tweet this as well, guys. The nighttime scenes were moving way too fast. I barely took down any decent notes, because after one person started talking, 3 seconds later, another couple, 4 seconds later, someone's on the terrace, 2 seconds later, someone, it was a lot, okay? I feel like the cuts could have definitely been smoother, or we could have just skipped a few of the conversations, especially because of the big bombshell that we did get at the end of today's episode. So let's start off with Scott and Kady. They were talking about eye colours. I hate that conversation. I already told you guys this before. Like, oh, I hate when people make eye colours a preference. I don't know. Maybe it's because majority of black people have brown eyes. I don't know. But I just the whole, oh, my type is blonde hair and blue eyes, and it just doesn't give for me at all. Anyway, moving on to Tyrique and Ella. He was just like, you know, we've never had that conversation that, you know how Tyrique talks, we've never had that conversation that we said that we're going to be close up one another. So Ella was just looking at him like, you know what, do what you want to do, because like I said, at a point toxic love gets so draining, and you're just like, you know what, if you like, fly. If you like, I'm tired, I'm genuinely tired. But I would love to know what you guys, like I said, think. Are you team Tyrique, are you team Ella? Once again, I just feel like Ella shouldn't think she can try and change him, especially when Tyrique can only make that decision for himself, and clearly he's not trying to make that decision anytime soon. Now, of course, Mitch ended up coming to disturb Scott and Kady, having a conversation, and they were just having a brief convo about who his top 3 is, and she was like, me, Jess, and he was just like, I think they flirted a bit, but I just can't take Mitch seriously, so I'm gonna skip that. Now we'll move on to Tyrique and Kady going on the terrace to talk. The thing is guys, like, the terrace has become such like a, I don't know, like a holy place for these people, that was, whenever anyone goes on the terrace, it's like everyone's head literally explodes. But they went on the terrace and he was just like, oh, it's ridiculous for anyone to think that, you know, I've been here for 3 weeks, it's ridiculous for anyone to think that I'm going to be whacked off. And Kady was just like, yeah, like, you should do what was best for you, and then he said he's open to, of course, getting to know her. Tyrique, I'm not surprised there at all. And Casamora is not even here, and he's already showing us he can easily go back to his old ways. Scary. Okay, very scary. Now let's move on to Zach and Kady having a conversation. Not really much to speak about other than the fact that the camera, of course, panned to Molly and she was screwing up her face. Now, of course, someone ended up getting a text, and the person didn't even know they got a text. So the phone went off and they were like, have you got a text? Who's got a text? Someone's got a text. Jess is looking. Then she looks down. Oh, I've got a text. I was thinking, babe, like, the phone is on loud in your lap. Did you not know it was you? Anyway, of course, they ended up getting a text that it was time for the islanders to gather around the fire pit immediately, and Kady was asked to steal a guy. Now, let me be very honest with you. I genuinely thought, not that, I knew Kady was interested in Zach, right? I knew there was a little something there. But at the same time, I was thinking maybe she was actually going to choose Tyrique, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I feel like those are the two guys that she has spoken to the most. Her and Scott have spoken, but so I actually genuinely felt like it was going to be Zach or Tyrique. And of course, she gave her little speech. She said that the boy has caught her eye and she would be attracted to him on the outside world. And lo and behold, she chooses Zachariah. So Zachariah now comes up and he's just like, oh, that must have been really hard. And then gives her a side hug and everyone's looking like, oh. What was making me scream was Molly looked like, I don't know if she actually wanted to cry per se, but I think someone was whispering to her like, hold it in, are you okay? She was just like, She was just like, I'm okay. Anyway, guys, y'all know the ending, right? So of course Molly then ended up getting a text, and the producers, guys, are producing, because I promise you, I don't even think the news had marinated for 1 second. God, I don't even think it marinated for 1 second. But of course Molly ended up getting a text that, Molly, you are now single and you have been dumped from the island. She broke out into tears immediately. Everyone was gasping. Guys, my mouth was on the floor because the producers didn't hold back. Guys, they did not hold back. So of course Molly was dumped from the island. I wonder if she's actually going to remain dumped, because I felt like the transition with how they announced it today was a bit weird. But if she is, safe flight home, babe. All right. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on today's review. Guys, another strong episode. What a wow to the end of the week. I'm sorry, the producers are really in my good book, because this season is probably going to go down as one of my favorite seasons so far. But I'd love to know what you guys would actually think of tonight's episode in the comment section below. As you know, as today is Friday, tomorrow there will be no Love Island review. We are back on Sunday. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for your support this week. I love you guys loads. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And I shall see you on Sunday. Bye.